So, MG's going with Set and Isis versus Isis and Odin. And so we have Zukt here and Rangers in the southern side of the map. And then Wise Man, Apple on the north. So right off the bat, we see Rangers using his Vision God power being set, and he uses this on his water. So with Vision here, this gives him LOS of all these fishing spots, which then allows him to have a really intelligent dock position, which allows him to be very efficient early in the game in terms of gathering food. So that's a great move. Over here, Zukt as Isis likewise has pretty decent position in terms of fishing. Apple is just setting up right here. And so we're going to see what Wise Man can do as Odin on Mediterranean versus a set player. I personally don't like that matchup very much, to be Odin versus Set. Set just has a really nice setup against Norse players, and Odin arguably being the weakest of the three Norse gods. We're going to just see how he plays this. And so in the meantime, we see Rangers has already converted his first animal and is in the process of converting a second animal. So Rangers is just getting a lot of the map scouted very, very quickly, which gives him a sense of where his resources are. And also we see him going for his second dock in a forward position. So Rangers has a strong start. Zukt's going for his second dock, and everybody's just starting up normal Mediterranean play. Now, interesting here, we see Swapple just scouting with his priest in what appears to be a zigzag formation. And so this is going to be an interesting relic later on in this Isis mirror on the right hand side of the map. TCs provide more population. So with 3 TCs later on in the game, that's a difference of 9 population, or a couple chariots, an elephant, a couple siege. So that's a pretty nice relic to have if Zook can get it. Yeah, and so here's the harassment of the Ulsark with the boar, slowing up Wiseman just a touch. So we see Rangers converting. Looks like he converted all 3 boars near his base. As it is, I think it is unusual for so many boars to be close to somebody's base on a Mediterranean map. And I personally would have just gathered the food, but it looks like Rangers elected to just rely on his strong fishing and pass on the gathering. Now this is interesting right here as well. Rangers going for his third dock, which again will give him a lot of flexibility. And based on the fact that, well, here's the Norse player going for his second dock. Based on the fact that MG will have more docks than LoVe will, if Rangers has 3 docks and Green has 2, Red has 2, Teal has 2, 5 to 4 docks, and potentially 6 to 4 docks, I see MG winning water very quickly. Particularly if they were the fast heroic and have more siege ships in the equation. So, Odin player has just classicaled right around 420. First player to do so, which is to be expected. Usually Egyptian players age up just a little bit later. It looks like Zook's going for his hunt. Or, no, actually his wood. Interesting. So, Wise Man is making the early push on water. Just a little bit of harassment on the fishing. But again, if Rangers has let's see, 2 plus 3, 5, 5 docks, like I said a moment ago, I see him just outproduce early push by Swapple. Okay, so Zook's aging, and Rangers we see the simultaneous use of Forest Fire followed by Shifting Sands, and looks like Rangers shifted a Dwarf, a Gatherer, and not one but 2 Ox Carts with this thing over here. So that's just a huge score. So we got Water Micro, and then there's just a lot of action here. So looks like all 4 players have decided to withdraw for now. But here comes Apple in an attempt to double team Rangers. It's just that Wise Man doesn't appear to have been paying attention, and now Zook is coming over. So just fighting all over the place here. And again, the superior production is coming into play. Looks like Rangers has 5 docks right here on auto queue. Teal has stopped producing ships. Apple is producing ships, but it looks like they're giving up on water based on Teal not producing ships at the moment. Yeah, and that's to do it. There goes water. So the question is now, can Love Clan transition to land at this stage? Because having lost water, again, because of the production issue, and so Rangers is just pushing with animals and his watch it, and trying to snipe the Wadjet there, which he does successfully. Alright, so we see Apple pulling Prosperity, which is good. He's got Shaft Mine, 13 villagers, so a really strong Prosperity right here. Just to double check, Zooked has not used his Prosperity yet. So this might be a sign that Apple's trying to boom, and there it is, the second TC for both these players. Yeah, however, it looks like Rangers is picking up his TC as well. These ammos are just really slowing them down. And here's the Prosperity over here. Looks like Shaft Mine was researched a bit late though, so it might be a bit late for that research to that tech to come into play. But we'll see how fast the players transition to Heroic. 65% for Zooked. Rangers appears to be Rangers has just finished picking up all hit 3 TCs. And looks like he's gonna go for a Classical Age push. Yeah, look at this here. So Rangers going for 6 barracks. So that's just a massive in a really strong position here. Controlling water, gathering all this extra food, beating LoVe to the punch, mostly in terms of TCs. Yeah, MG is just gonna out macro LoVe at this rate. Here. Skype. Okay, I'm just gonna put myself. There. So Rangers just has this small army here. And it looks like Rangers is just going for map control at this stage. On this side, both players appear to be holding their ground, but with Zook going for siege. Again, he's in a strong position. So finally, Apple's in Heroic, and we'll be able to counter this stuff a little bit more easily. It looks like Rangers is just trying to do some harassment here. And that's another thing that's beautiful about this whole thing. With the map control, what MG has done very intelligently is control as many corners of the map as possible, to where Apple was not comfortable placing his trade over here in the right corner, which would have given him maximum trade over here. And so that could prove important later on in the game as gold becomes more of a factor, especially for Egyptian players. So we have a small fight here. Middle of this raiding cav. a lot of interesting micro here. Trying to use that trolling axeman to target the spearman. And boom, we've got Annie used. Mostly in a, I would say this would be more of a defensive move right here. But with these 5 priests right here, turns out to be bad timing. Apple is upgrading his spears and going for chariot, so he's just looking for range plus an anti-cav combo in combination with the elephants here. In the meantime, Rangers has lost a little bit of ground here. And yeah, here it is. Getting the triple market and having a strong trade position as well. Looks like Zooked here is murking. And he has granulations as well, which gives him more flexibility in countering the elephants. Another thing that Zook has is the armory upgrades. And that's a huge plus again when you can get armory upgrades first. So then here we see a huge push, and well done, sniping the Migdal, and boom, there's the Annie on Zook's side. Much like how Apple used it in defense, Zooked is doing it in defense. And again, the handful of priests were ready to go to counter this. So over here then, Rangers is just pushing forward with elephants, siege, and that's huge right here that Zooked just got mythic. And again, all that extra food from the fish adds up when you talk about being able to get to mythic a little bit earlier, which gives you more flexibility, especially if you have Valley of the Kings or go for Titan. He's just in a really strong position. As for Wise Man, looks like he's in a bit of trouble. Losing the TC, losing the efficiency of all these villas, all these farms, good 10 farms. And looks like this TC is going down as well. So Frost is being used almost like a ceasefire in order to be able to get that TC rebuilt. I'm trying to figure out where was the ancestors used. Ah, right here. Right. Huh. The Rangers got to build a really forward, really aggressive Migdal right there. And that's another huge advantage for Zooked right here. That with range siege And as well with Rangers and Mythic now, again, MG's just in a really, really strong position. And now a couple towers just map control, just solidifying. Yeah. Yeah, both players are trading very well. And boom! Where did that meteor shower go? My apologies, guys. I seem to have missed the meteor shower. And it looks like apples in Mythic as well. So that equalizes on the right hand side, but this is turning out to be a massacre with all these elephants. And Apple, instead of being able to use the meteor on his side, has to use it over here. And all it's doing is just really delaying the inevitable with all these elephants coming into play. Value the King's Research, so that gives Rangers, again, a lot of flexibility, just being able to mass produce elephants. Economically, he's got fully upgraded Villies, with the exception of the Thought Mythic upgrade. He could upgrade his fish, but Rangers is actually deleting his fish, so as to allow him to make more military. Alright, so they come back here. Yeah, Apple just can't seem to get his TC back with all that range siege. And looks like Apple's about to resign. GG, GG. So that's 1-0 to MG. And yeah, LoVe had all kinds of troubles here. Like I said very near the beginning of the game, the difficult Civ matchup on the left hand side with Odin versus Set, and losing water to being outproduced, and all that extra food in an Egyptian game here added up when you look at all these elephants. So GG, well played. MG just was flat out better.